Hi everyone, this is Math SL practice problems on arithmetic sequences. Just a note, there were a lot of these that were found on the previous exams, so make sure you know your formulas. Again, this is just a review, and this is a U. In my class we usually use A, so this would be use of n equals use of 1 plus n minus 1 times d, and this is your summation formula. And you should know this. So this is just a review on what kind of problems you'll get. I did a lot of shorthand on here because this video is pretty simple. So there's about 9, 10 problems. There was one word problem we found. A theater has 20 rows of seats. There are 15 seats in the first row, 17 in the second, and each successive row has 2 more seats than the other. So basically, 15, 17, the next one would be 19, So our common difference is 2. So we want to know what the 20th row is. So use of 20 equals my first term plus 20 minus 1 times 2. So that would be 15 plus 19 times 2, which equals 15 plus 38, which equals, I believe, 53. And we want to add these seats up. So the sum of all the seats, which was 20 rows, is my my total over 2, my first term plus my last term, which was 53, which is 10 times 15 plus 53, which is 10 times 68, which is 680 total seats. Okay? Now the rest of them are just normal problems, and they're very similar, so I just did all the ones that we found, and I'm going to try to go pretty quickly. Just make sure you know the formulas. So here's number 1. They give you the first term and the third term, and they ask you to find D. So the way you would do that is use your formula, and we're going to act like our third term is the last one. And we do use of 1 plus n minus 1, which is 3 minus 1 times D. So this would be 8 equals 2 plus 2D. Subtract the 2. So we get 6 equals 2D. And so D is 3. And then we need to find the 20th term. So use of 20 equals my first term plus 19 times D, which is 2 plus, and I already worked these out. As you add all that up, basically I already just put it in the calculator, that equals 59. So that's your 20th term. And then they want to know what the sum would be. So the sum of all of this would be 20, your n is 20. 20 over 2, and my first term was 2, and my last term was 59, was it? Yeah, 59, which is 10 times 61, which equals 610. All right, here's another one. They want you to find D. So I'm using use of 20 equals use of 1 plus 19 times D. So 20, use of 20 is 64 equals 7 plus 19 times D. Subtract the 7 and you get 57. equals 19D. Divide both sides by 19 and you get 3 equals D. Then you have to find N. So I use the same formula. Have 64 equals 7 plus N minus 1 times 3. This N means number of terms. Alright, so 7 plus 3N minus 3. So this would be 460 equals 3N. So N equals 20. Alright. Now, here's another one, number 3. They give you a list of numbers and they want you to find D. Well, it's very clear that the common difference here is 6. I'll do it down here, 6. Alright, and then they want you to find N. So basically, we're going to do the formula use of N equals use of 1 plus N minus 1 times D. So we're finding the number of terms. We have 1353 equals 3 plus N minus 1 times D. And you just solve for N. So I'm going to add 3, you get 1356 equals 6N, and N equals 226. Okay, now they want you to find the sum. So, whoops, did we do the sum? Actually, I skipped that. They also want you to find the sum. So the sum would be, and I'm going to squeeze it in here, is the sum is your total number, your first term, plus your last term. You can see where this is pretty easy. This would be 113. This would be 1353. So my total number is, where is it? 153,228. Okay. They want you to find the first term given use of 27, and they give you the D. So we know we're looking at 27 terms. So I'm using use of N, and I just plug in and find the first term. So use of 27, my N is 27. And so we have 263 equals use of 1 plus, this is 27 minus 1 is 26 times 11. So basically you get 263 equals use of 1 plus 286. Subtract 286 from both sides, and you get negative 23, I believe. All right. Now, they say given that the last term is 516, how many number of terms would that be? So basically, I'm going to use the same formula here. So I have 516 equals, my first term was negative 23, right, plus N minus 1 times 11. And so I don't even think I finished this one. So 516 equals negative 23 plus 11N minus 11. And I didn't finish this one, so let me do this. This would be negative 34 plus 11N. So add 34 to both sides. I'm going to squeeze it over here. So 516 plus 34 is 550. let's see. Did I write this down wrong? Alright, anyway. So given that use of n is 516, find n. So I have 516 equals negative 23 plus n minus 1 times 11. So we're going to combine this and get negative 34. Add the 34 to this, and you get 550. So 550 equals 11n, and you divide both sides by 11, and you get 50 equals n. So 50 would be your number of terms. Sorry about that, I didn't have this one written down. Alright, the next one, oh yeah, here it is. So basically for n equals, did I write this one down? So, okay, so n is what? 50. Now we have to find s of n. So s of n equals 50 over 2 times your first term, which was what? Negative 23. And your last term, which was what? Whoops. The last term was 516. And again, I don't know why I didn't do this one. So basically, just multiply this through, and you get 25 times negative 23 plus 516. And you get the total of 12,325. All right, the next one. So the next one is, they gave you the nth term is 5 plus 2n. Your common difference is 2. That's your, remember, arithmetic sequences are linear. That's your slope. If you wanted to, you could write some out. So find use of 1. Use of 1 would be 7. You just plug in 1. And then use of 2 would be 9. So our common difference is 2. It says, given the nth term is 115, find n. So I put 115 plus 7 plus, oops, have my first term here. Okay, my first term is 7, and we're trying to find our n, the number of terms. My d is 2. So we get 115 equals 7 plus 2n minus 2, and so that would be 110 equals 2n, and so n equals 55. All right? All right. Do we have to do anything else? Yes, again, we have to find the same. So given n is 55, find the sum. So how many terms do we have? So n of 55. So 55 equals 55 over 2 times 7 plus 115. And that equals 55 over 2 times 1, 2, 2, which is 55. I divided this in and got 61. And, or you can just use a calculator and get 3,355. Right? All right. As you can see, these are the same thing over and over again. So in this case, it's a little different. They want you to find D. So the first thing I'm going to do is find my nth term. So I'm going to solve for my sum. And I have 20 terms over 2, whereas my first term is negative 7, and I have to find my last term. Well, S of 20 equals what? 620. So I put 620 there. And I'm going to get 620 equals 10 times negative 7 plus 10 times use of n. So this is negative 70. If I add 70, I get 690 equals 10 use of n. So my last term would be 69. I'll divide both sides by 10 here. All right. Now we have to find d. So d, we just use our other formula. See if I can put in here. So use of n is 69 equals negative 7 plus n. What's my n? N is 20, so that's going to be 19 times d. So you add the 7, and you're going to get 76 equals 19d. So d is 4. I'm sorry about squeezing that in. Now we have to find use of 78. So use of 78 equals my first term plus n. N is 20, so it's 20 minus 1 is 19 times 4. So that's going to be negative 7 plus 19 times 4. So 19 times 4 is 20 times 4, 76. Add that up, and so use of 78 equals 76 minus 7, which is 69. All right? Man, it's a lot. All right, so we got 2 more to go. And I'm going to try to go really fast. So basically, I want you to find the first term. We're going to use our summation formula. So S of 40, so that's 1900 equals 40 over 2 times my first term plus my nth term, or my last term. And so then you just solve. Plus 20 times 106 is 2,120. Subtract, you get negative 220 equals 20 use of 1. So use of 1 equals negative 11. Now we're going to find d. So we do my first term is going to be what? Just a minute. So to find d, we're going to do a sub n. So a sub 40, not ace, but use, sorry. Use of 40 equals use of 1 plus n minus 1 times d. So we have use of 40, 106 equals, that's negative 11, plus n. How many total do we have? 40, so that's 39d. This is one I didn't do. So I'm going to add the 11, and I get 117 equals 39d. And you divide both sides by 39, and I get 3. So d is 3. Okay, one more. Here's our pattern. Our d is 3, and we want to find the 100th term. So use of 101 equals my first term, which is 2, plus 100 times 3. So that's going to be equal to 302, or yeah, 302. So it says use of n is 152, then find n. So if I have 152 equals 2 plus I don't know my n, and my d is 3, and you just solve for there. So that's going to be 2 plus 3n minus 3. So we get 151 equals 3n. So n is 51. And that's all. This video is kind of long. The next videos are going to be shorter, and they're going to be about geometric sequences using summation notation and infinite geometric series.